This recording is going to cover it's going to be a very short recording that covers the cerebrum and specifically look at the cerebral cortex and the lobes. Now, the cerebral cortex is composed up of gray matter. So remember, it's cell bodies. It's going to be important in pretty much your all conscious behavior. So say it's a location of your conscious mind. So this is where we're going to use it for memory, understanding, initiating of movements, interpreting senses, and we can break down that cerebral cortex into three major areas: motor areas, sensory areas, and association areas. And we're going to look at some of them in a subsequent recording. But first, I'm just going to show you the lobes of the cerebral cortex. So the lobes include, the first one you see is number one is the frontal lobe. And I'm trying to get it to right. So here is the frontal lobe. And just as to let you know, three major things that we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at the primary motor cortex, the premotor cortex, and the prefrontal cortex that's in the frontal lobe. It's going to be involved in personality, determining right from wrong. It's involved in voluntary muscle movement and control of voluntary muscle movement. The parietal lobe is the one that's in yellow, number 2, and you have one on either side. You're just seeing it on the right. The parietal lobe is where we're going to be interpreting senses, the somatic senses like pain, temperature, touch, vibration. The occipital lobe, which is in the green, number 3, that will be involved in interpretation of vision. So just let's say visual information. Number 4 is our temporal lobe. And again, you're going to have it on both sides. You're only seeing on the right side. The temporal lobe is involved in both hearing and smell. And also, it's going to be a location, it's only going to be on one side of the brain, where it's going to be important in communication. So we'll look at something called Wernicke's area that is also located in the temporal lobe. Number 5, you have to actually pull that temporal lobe away, and it's deep to it, is the insula. You can say insula or insular lobe. This is an area that's involved in our ability to emotionally respond to music, empathy, social emotions. It's involved in addictive type behavior, cravings, and hunger. It's also a location that's involved in interpretation of taste. So I'm going to leave it here. In the next recordings, you're going to go over specific areas.